Bernie Sanders wins the New Hampshire primary as the race shifts to Nevada and South Carolina. Trump's Roger Stone interference continues a presidency unleashed, and former Empire actor Jussie Smollett indicted again by a Chicago grand jury. Today on The Diamond K Show. Episode 397. Welcome back to Radio on Fire. Reporting for the nation, my name is Diamond K. Thank you for joining me. We here at Radio on Fire provide the best in breaking news, entertainment, sports, and political stories that matter to you. To get all show archives and exclusive content, become a member today at radioonfire.com/join. So, the New Hampshire primaries, the often talked about New Hampshire primary is over. A lot of takeaways from last night's primary. Vermont Senator Bernie Sanders got a televised celebration that eluded him the week before in the debacle known as the Iowa caucus. Once again, former South Bend, Indiana Mayor Pete Buttigieg made it a contest, made Bernie sweat, definitely. Sanders' victory has solidified in the race his national front runner status. I don't know if that's necessarily good or bad. I actually lean more toward the bad. Bernie is a candidate who is so far to the left that some people may be turned off. In the primary is one thing, but the general is something totally different. The general election is going to be totally different, and if Bernie Sanders is the front runner, this could spell trouble for the Democrats. Going to Buttigieg. Buttigieg pulled even with him in the New Hampshire delegate count. But here at Radio on Fire, we are giving the former mayor a slight edge in the overall delegate count thus far. Amy Klobuchar, another surprise. Amy Klobuchar, she really had a better display than expected, finishing in third place, really edging Elizabeth Warren out. And Elizabeth Warren is, she's dealing with a couple of issues. One that I mentioned earlier as it relates to Bernie Sanders, she's pretty far to the left on some things. But Klobuchar, someone like Klobuchar, a centrist, is able to appeal to more people. And Elizabeth Warren definitely losing steam. Amy Klobuchar, really a big surprise. After her debate performance, she really moved ahead last week. And this has really opened up a new two-person race with Buttigieg for the moderate lane, and of course Bernie Sanders as the far left, as they say. Another takeaway last night: Andrew Yang pulling out, suspending his campaign.
And while there is great work left to be done, I am the math guy, and it is clear tonight from the numbers that we are not going to win this race. I am not someone who wants to accept donations and support in a race that we will not win. And so tonight I am announcing I am suspending my campaign for president.
We love you, Andrew!
Thank you, I love you too. Thank you, New Hampshire. Thank you so much.
Just was not able to he wasn't able to make significant headways after a very disappointing performance in Iowa, another disappointing performance in New Hampshire.
Thank you so much, New Hampshire. I love you too. This is not an easy decision or something I made lightly with the team. Endings are hard, and I've always had the intention to stay in this race until the very end. But I have been persuaded that the message of this campaign will not be strengthened by my staying in this race any longer. Endings are hard, New Hampshire, but this is not an ending. This is a beginning.
You know, I'm surprised that he actually was able to stay in the race as long as he did. Michael Bennet also suspending his campaign. Deval Patrick expected to suspend his campaign a little bit later today. So the field is dwindling down. And, you know, just ironically, Michael Bloomberg, of course, he has a lot of money. He's still hasn't even hit his full stride yet. He will be on the next debate stage, and I think that was going to expose him as someone who, I mean, he has been involved in New York politics many years, so I don't want to say how he's going to do, and we also have to keep in mind that this crop of Democrats is not that strong. Some of their debates have gotten better in debates, but their debates are not inspiring people to come out to the polls. They're not super eloquent speakers that can really galvanize people the way that Barack Obama did. Their ideas are, I don't know, he's just kind of like, I don't know. It really bothers me, the fact that these Democrats are going through all of these motions, right? And then they're going to get on stage with one of the most formidable politicians, debaters, talkers that America has seen. Donald Trump knows no rules, no playbook, no handbook that you can go by. There's no line that he won't cross. So whichever one of these crop of Democrats comes in the end as the sole survivor of this Democratic triathlon, I think that Trump is just going to embarrass them, at least on a debate stage. So that's a whole nother thing entirely. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section. Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, at The Don McKay Show, at Radio on Fire. You are listening to Radio on Fire, reporting for the nation. Let's take a quick break, and let's come back with more of today's show, episode 397. I'll be back after this. I mean, we were talking about President Trump on the other side of the break, and by bulldozing, bogarting, deboing his way into this Roger Stone sentencing, Donald Trump, the president, has sparked somewhat of a mutiny by 4 career prosecutors, U.S. prosecutors. This is really causing concern, as if there wasn't already concern there, but it has raised fears about the impartial administration and just doing whatever they want to do. The Justice Department interfering on behalf of Trump's friend, Roger Stone, and showed how his impeachment acquittal unchained an already rampant, outrageous presidency. His diehard cult following is not going to say anything. But there has to be some among you that see that this president is doing way, way too much. Here's the crazy thing about him. Some people are worried, saying that he is changing norms, and the Democrats in the same position, even after Trump is doing all of this, will not do the same thing because they don't have the guts to. Now, you may say that they're too principled to not, too principled to go down the same path that Trump is going down. But and I don't even know whether that's good or bad. But Trump, unchecked, is going to probably pardon Roger Stone or make it so nothing happens to him. He's going to pardon Michael Flynn. He's probably going to pardon Manafort. And Democrats are not going to do anything about it. Republicans are not going to do anything about it. And if he is reelected, which it is really shifting towards looking like that's what's going to happen, he's going to really go in with things like this. And he's definitely going to use his power to decimate the reputation of whoever his opponent is. Look at what he's done to Joe Biden. Joe Biden's poor performance can definitely be linked to this Ukraine debacle. And even though no investigation was announced, the amount of focus that it has brought to Joe Biden in a negative way, he just has not ever been able to recover from. I'm talking about Joe Biden. The president did that. The Justice Department's decision to water down a recommendation by its own prosecutors for Stone to serve up to 9 years in prison, that outraged the president. And he spoke about it, sending shockwaves throughout D.C. It also appears that Trump's redoubled determination to escalate pressure on these core institutions in the U.S. government while pursuing his own personal and political priorities is not going to stop. Not going to stop. This morning, he offered congratulations to Attorney General Barr for what he called taking charge of a case that was totally out of control and perhaps should not have ever been brought. Even though multiple courts have upheld Special Counsel Robert Mueller's appointment, his authority, and the decisions that he made, the president is, of course, circumventing all of that. All of this triggered by some early morning tweets, and the president has accelerated this unchecked behavior and really, really put things in overdrive since he was found not guilty. He's fired people, which he can do. But he's not even trying to even make it look respectable. He's not even trying to make it look fair. He's just going in, as they say. And if there's any lesson that Trump has drawn from this experience with Congress, it seems to be that he wants to go even faster and bolder as he tries to subvert constitutional and political norms. Well, what are political norms really, right? It's very interesting what's going to happen. And I say this, Democrats are going to do nothing but talk about it. Republicans are going to do nothing but amen section, and they're not going to do nothing about it either. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, at The Diamond K Show, at Radio on Fire. You are listening to Radio on Fire. We are reporting for the nation, providing the best in breaking news, entertainment, sports, and political stories that matter to you. To get show archives and exclusive content, become a member today at radioonfire.com/join. Your man Diamond K. I'm going to take a quick break, and then we're going to be back after this. Welcome back to the Diamond K Show here on Radio on Fire. We are reporting for the nation. Radio on Fire provides the best in breaking news, entertainment, sports, political stories that matter to you. To get show archives and exclusive content, become a member today. radioonfire.com/join. I did not think we would be back here again, but Jussie Smollett, indicted, seems like a rerun though, indicted by a grand jury in Chicago. the former Empire actor, was indicted yesterday by a grand jury in the Chi after a special prosecutor reinvestigated the allegations that he bogusly reported about being a victim of a hate crime a little over a year ago. If you remember this story, we talked about it extensively. Smollett, who is 37 years old, was indicted on 6 counts relating to making 4 separate false reports to Chicago police, like they don't have enough to do already. So you got Jussie Smollett on some kind of promotional attempt, foolish, dangerous attempt, and he should be punished for this. He claimed that he was the victim of a hate crime while knowing he was not the victim of a crime, the special prosecutor Dan Webb said in a statement yesterday. Jussie thought this was over with. He thought he had gotten away with this, and he was just going to fade in the background. But no. Thankfully, the powers that be saw fit to continue with this. Jussie Smollett was acting like he was vindicated, much like the president, acting like he's vindicated when he was not. So, how do we get here? Dan Webb, the special prosecutor, was appointed by a Cook County judge to continue looking into the false allegations after the Cook County state's attorney dropped all the charges against the actor. Surprisingly, you remember that? They just dropped the charges. No one knew why. Smelled corrupt to me. But no one knew why those charges were dropped. Webb said that the Office of the Special Prosecutor has now completed all of its investigative steps regarding the actor, Jussie Smollett, and they made the decision to further prosecute him. And I'm glad. Bravo. He said that his office made arrangements with Smollett's attorneys for him to voluntarily appear at an arraignment on February 24th. And that's also the day of the Kobe Bryant and the Gigi Bryant Memorial. So what a way to really tarnish a day remembering a great athlete. We have this loser, Jussie Smollett, who is going to be at this voluntary arraignment on the same day. This investigation by the special prosecutor began back in August after the Cook County Circuit Court judge appointed him. And so he's been looking into this, and I think that it took him a lot longer to come up with what myself and listeners have already concluded long ago, that Jussie Smollett is human scum and deserves to go down. So this independent investigation to determine whether Smollett should be further prosecuted for these false statements, it is going forward. And I don't know what's going to happen, but something needs to happen, because all he has done, Jussie Smollett, is act like he's just been vindicated. It's so ironic to me when people get by the skin of their teeth in a court case. The best thing to do is shut up. Right? You just further ignite negative feelings. Jussie Smollett tried to sue them for fault, all kind of stuff. This whole case has smelled foul and corrupt, and hopefully these things will be exposed, because you or I, we couldn't do something like this. The so-called famous people getting away, and whether it's a politician or whether it's an actor or whether it's a singer or an actress, getting away with this kind of stuff, I don't like to see it, because the average American can't do this. We do something and we're going to be held accountable for it. And the so-called rich and famous need to be held accountable as well. So the rare occasions when these incidents do happen, I applaud the justice coming in a very small degree whenever that happens. But Jussie Smollett, going down or going back, and we'll see. We'll see what happens there. You've been Diamond K. I'll be back tomorrow, 7 p.m., Radio on Fire. But, of course, throughout the day, we are reporting for the nation, breaking news, entertainment, sports, political stories that matter to you. You can get show archives, exclusive content, and support independent journalism here at Radio on Fire. RadioOnFire.com/join is where you go. This has been the Diamond K Show, and I will see you guys tomorrow.